This screencast will show you how to create a Seesaw activity from scratch. We'll also be going through these 7 different steps what you need to create a Seesaw activity. So here you can see this is my main journal page of my class. If I click on my name over here, you can see all my different classes that I'm a part of, but I'm going to click on my activities class for this here. This is just something they created for teachers teaching teachers, and this is the main page. If you want to create an activity, you can click on the Activities tab here and click on Add and click on Assign Activity. You're not going to be assigning an activity just yet. You're actually going to be creating an activity, so I think that the name of that tab is a little bit misleading, but it is what it is. When you click on when you see your activity library, you'll be able to see different activities that you may have created in the past, just like I have here. Over here, you'll be able to see different tabs for community and school, and we're going to explore that later on in a different video. But for this video, we're going to create a new activity. When we create a new activity, we want to have this in 2 different parts. We want to be able to give teacher instruction, but we also want to tell the students how they are going to post their learning. Because I was looking for an example, I went onto the grade 2 home learning menu, and I saw that one of the things that they could do as part of home learning was to create a letter to Mrs. Munnerlin to try to convince her to give them a longer recess. So here you go. For the title name, I'm just going to say Convince Mrs. Munnerlin. Okay. And for the student instructions, I have this typed out from a little bit earlier. Okay, so that's the teacher instruction, and let the students know how they can respond to this post or what they're supposed to do. You do have an option here to add voice instructions, and this is quite handy, especially for children that may not have the patience or may not have the ability to read the instructions that you've given them. So I'm going to click here to add voice instructions, and I'm just simply going to read what I wrote here. Create a letter to try to persuade Mrs. Munnerlin to give us a longer recess. Remember to use persuasive words, phrases, and adjectives that will help convince Mrs. Munnerlin, like "we need," "it is of great importance," "must have," and "it is essential and necessary." You can write this letter on a piece of paper and then take a photo of your writing, or you can answer in a Seesaw note. When you're finished, you can press pause, and you'll be able to see that your recording is there, and you can actually play it back and listen to it, but we're not going to do that today. All right, so there you go. Your activity is pretty much created, but it isn't sent out yet. So that's what we have to do next. So first we have to save that activity. It'll bring you back to that new activity's homepage, or the page that is just dedicated for that activity. As you can see here, you can see how you can play instructions. But let's go back to My Library by clicking on My Library, and you'll be able to see your activity library and all the different assignments that you've posted already, including the one that you just created, Convince Mrs. Munnerlin. All right, time to assign this to students. So I'm going to click on Assign, and those 3 dots beside Assign means you haven't really assigned it yet. Here you can select classes that you can send this to. You can actually send to multiple classes at the same time. All right, so in this case, I'm going to click on Activities class, and I'm going to assign it to another class called Test class. So if you're a grade 2 teacher, you would just select all the grade 2 classes there. In each class, you can also edit the students and folders. Here I want to select all the students in that class, but I want to click on a specific folder so that when these assignments are done, they go into the proper folders as well. So here I'm going to click on Literacy, and I'm going to click on the check mark. And now you can see that it is assigned to 17 students, and it'll go into one folder. In this class, 8 students, Let's click on students. Maybe I only wanted to send it to certain students. Deselect some students here. Click on folders. Make sure that goes into the literacy folder. Click on the green check mark, and you can see it's assigned to 4 students in 1 folder. All right, next you want to create a schedule send. All right, because we want to make sure that it gets sent to on a specific time and a specific date. So I'm going to click on schedule. As part of our virtual learning guidelines, we said that we're going to send things out at 9:30 a.m. on a specific date. So I'm going to say on March the 5th at 9:30 a.m. this activity will be sent out to students. And click on check mark. Now we'll be able to assign the activity. And once I click on this green button, it'll be sent to the students, but only on March 5th at a specific time. There you go. The activity's been assigned. All right. So this is what a student will see on their iPad. This is their journal front page. They would click on the activities, and they can see that they have an activity assigned to them. They click on add response. They would find their name, and they can add a photo or click on note. Let me just type this up quick. There you go. Hit check mark. And now you can see that it is now waiting for approval. So back to the teacher view, a teacher would see that there's one unapproved post. They would click on review. From this review page, they can just choose to approve it. And if you click back onto the activities tab, you'll see that there's 1 response already in, 0 waiting for approval, and also 16 students that have not responded yet.